So welcome to a live build with Zenler. So what we're looking to do today is I put a post about a week, just over a week ago, into Facebook group asking people for their WordPress sites that they want to convert over to Zenler. So I took a few of those sites. Some are more technical, and I want to stay away from technical today. I want not to use any code. Anything is achievable inside Zenler. You can use JavaScript scripting in general, and you can use code inside the site. So actually everything's possible to do, but we want to stay away from that. From the non-tech savvy side, you want to just take your WordPress site and do it over to Zenler. Now, why would you do this? Well, some of you might already have a WordPress site. You might be quite happy with that, and you might be running your blogs and on your WordPress site and be happy to have your courses on another site. But one thing you should definitely do is make sure the sites are looking the same or nearly the same, so there's no bad experience when someone's jumping from your main WordPress site into your Zenler site, especially if it's a subdomain. So I've done exactly the same for my site Mojo Mojo, and I have a WordPress site, and but you wouldn't really tell the difference between the WordPress and the Zenler version of it. They look pretty much the same. So you can get really close to what you're trying to do. There are some things we need to look at. I will be looking at these sites. We're going to start with Mimi Quick's site, and she posted on there. She has a WordPress site. So Mimi's site is mimiquick.com, so I'm going to show that in a second, and it's quite so I've picked some of the ones where I don't have to code so much. There was some in there that require quite a bit of coding inside them. Some of them you can, like a countdown timers that were spinning and things like that, which you can do. You could easily do that with JavaScript or code, but I wanted to stay away from that. So probably what I would do is do a screen grab of that and just place it in there as an image for those kind of things, as that will become relevant later. So this is an extended live. I'm not going to rush. I'm going to just take my time with it and just show you. Now I'm going to be working kind of almost reverse engineering. So I'm taking a site that's existing. I haven't got any of the assets. So if you already have your assets, which you should if you created your WordPress site, it's going to be a lot easier for you because you've got all the assets. So I've actually got to grab the assets or cut them out from the site as I'm working. So kind of a reverse engineering job from my side, but it's not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first site. Guys, you know, jump into the comments. You can put comments in here if you want to. I'm not really going to be monitoring it too much because I have to do the live build. So, but I will check through after each live build and see what you guys have posted. So if you're interested in this sort of stuff, you know, if you're watching on the replay, give us a thumbs up with the replay, hashtag replay, and let us know that you watched it and you found it of use. I know a lot of people are very interested in this sort of thing, so from that aspect it's going to be quite good. All right, one thing to just note here, I'm not going to be taking the header, I'm not going to be taking the footer, okay? It's because you're probably going to use a dynamic header and a footer in your site, so you just have to make that work for you. You could build it as well and then use that, but then you wouldn't be using the dynamic header, so I'm not going to be using the dynamic header for that, just so that you know. All right, so let's jump in, do a quick screen share of the first site that we're going to be looking at, and this is Mimi's site. So we got Mimi here, and we got this image, and I would say with this image it's very blurred. You want to be using a much higher resolution image for this. Just that's just telling you. So Mimi obviously has been ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, so you know, quite cool. We've also got on video here. Now I can see this video isn't on YouTube, so I'm not going to be grabbing the video. You can just insert your own. I'll just put a placeholder in there. We're going to be taking this text, but relatively this is a really simple site to do, which is a nice one to start with. So we've got images here, a little bit of word of advice with these images as well. Really should be the same height across here. This is just from my design point of view, so it comes across and ends there. So we'll probably be correcting things as we go. And we have social media at the bottom, which I probably won't put in because you've got them on the footer inside of the Zenler site. But the process that we're looking at here is blocks. So you know Zenler works in blocks. So there'll be a block for the header or the dynamic menu system that you've got. Then there would be a block here and then a block here. and so on. So this block here could actually be one block right the way down, So actually quite simple. Now guys, if you are featured on this live build, you can get in touch with me, PM me, and I will send you the block code so you can put this straight into your site, because I'm going to be working on a little test site that we always use for this thing. So in this case, I'm going to be using my Good Doggy site that I'm using for Sunday live mentorship. So I'm going to be going into the admin section of this, so you can just do it with your own. Now what I like to do is I like to go into the site, and I like to go into pages, and then I like to add a page, because I don't want to be working on a live page, especially if you've got a site and it's already got active live pages on there. You want to be working and testing in a test environment. So we're going to add a new page here, and we're going to go and call this, I'm going to call this Mimi, so I know, and I'll just put Mimi in here. And I'm going to use a blank page. I'm not going to publish the page, and I'm going to say only visible for logged in users. This is just my precaution to stop people finding the page. If you haven't got it clicked to publish, they're not going to find it anyway, but I'm just taking an extra precaution and making it for logged in users only. So let's click add, and then we're going to set up our base template. So our first thing that we're going to have in this, because it's going to give me my dynamic header, my dynamic footer, I'm going to delete those out and just start fresh, which is what we like to do. I've also got a folder set up. I'll just show you that now. So I've got a folder, and because this is the first site, site 1, I'm just going to label this Mimi, and this is where I'm going to put all my assets that I download from Mimi site here. So I'm going to put them all inside this folder just to keep everything nice, clear and organized. The other thing that I'm going to be doing as well is I'm going to be using a Word doc, and I'm going to be WordPad actually, and I'm going to be putting in some of the fonts that she's using, sizes that she's using from the main site, some of the colors, just so it's easy for me to get those back. So I'm going to click in here. I'm going to delete the header out. Guys, you've got your header, you're probably going to want to leave it in there, and I'm going to delete that bit out as well. So I've got basically, you remember, I've just got this empty thing. So remember, you can put those headers back in if you need to later. We've given you that ability inside here under the navigation. You can just grab that dynamic navigation and you can drag it across if you want to. We're going to start nice and fresh with this. So I'm going to jump onto the site here, and I want to capture this image here. And I also want to see the font she's using. So I'm going to capture this image. So generally in a page, you can right hand click and you can go down to inspector, and then it's going to give me my little inspector panel, and I'm going to go over this and see if I can grab this image. Sometimes you can't, and I don't think it's going to let me in this case, which is absolutely fine, because I'm going to then use a different method. So I'm going to go and use, and remember, I've done no practicing on this site at all, so this is just me working now live. So I'm going to go and use a snipping tool that you've got inside of Windows. So you've got a similar thing for Mac. I'm not sure what it's called, but you can basically use for grabbing anything on the screen. So if you just go on your little Windows bar at the bottom and you just search for apps, just put in there snip, and then this snipping tool will come up. And all you need to do is click new, and it's going to go all grey like this. And I'm going to grab from the edge here, and I'm going to grab across to grab this image. So I'm going to grab across here. Now obviously you guys probably got your image already. Let go, and that's given me the image. So I'm going to call this hero, and because she looks like a hero, superhero here as well, doesn't she? So save as, and we're going to put that into our thing. So with it live build session Mimi, I'm going to call this one hero. Okay, and click save. That's the first bit done. I'm going to save myself a lot of hassle here. Rather than download these individual items, I'm going to use the clipping tool again. I'm going to go to new, and I'm going to clip this bit out here like that, and we'll go save as, and we're going to call this logos news, something like that. Click save. And snipping tool is really good because you can just grab it. So instead of a video, I'm going to just grab this bit here now. Let's just move that out of the way. Just grab this little bit here. So you could download these, or you can just grab it like that. So video placeholder. Okay, let's scroll down, see if there's anything else I need to grab. So that can all be made up. This is good. I'm going to use that tool again. And let's grab this. So I'm just basically just getting all my stuff together. Let's save this as Mimi. Okay, down here, got some more stuff going on. I might better save this. I'm going to right hand click on this, save image. That's going to allow me to save it straight away. So, and it's a JPEG. Let's save that. Right hand click this, save image as, and there we go. So you can't always save the image as, but most of the time you can. And that's it, I've finished. So that's going to give me all my assets now for that. So I've got those assets. That's my first thing to do. So now you've got a nice little folder full of your little assets that you've got, that you've just downloaded. You've got all these little bits in here all ready to go. So the next thing I need to do is find out what font is being used. So I'm going to go into now WordPad, because now I want to put down a sheet together telling me what fonts have been used and what size. So I've got WordPad open here, and I'm going to call it heading font. So I might change the size a bit if it looks better in Zenler, and then I'll go body, which is like standard font. So I want to find out what this font is. So I've got that little WordPad. I'm just putting that onto my other monitor. I'm going to right hand click, go down to inspect. Then I'm going to go to here, go over here, and I'm using Chrome, by the way. And I can see inside here that it's telling me that it's Baskerville, and I'm not sure I've got Baskerville in the Google fonts, but it's giving me a color as well. So I can take that color, which is here, and in here I'm going to put Baskerville, and color for the headings is this, and I'm going to jump to this now, which is crimson text 17 point. Notice it gives you all the details, and it's in black. 0000000 is black for that hexadecimal number there. So crimson text, it's 17 point pixels, and it's black, which is the hex number 000000. So that gives me quite a bit there already. Let me just check the size of this as well. The size of this is 29 pixels. So 29 pix for okay. And I think the sizes are all the same right the way through. That's slightly different there. That again is crimson, but that's 20 using that same color. That's given me the hexadecimal for that color as well, so which is kind of cool. Okay, same color. 947838. FC. So I've just taken that hexadecimal number there. Yeah, so if you mouse over that, you can see that. Hash 947383 838 FC, which is actually the same color as this. Or it looks like it's slightly different. I'm going to leave it the same color because I think that works better. I don't like to mix the colors. So that color there is actually the hexadecimal color for the top as well. So I'm going to take that and put that in there, so I keep it the same. So I'm going to use two fonts here. This is the way that we can work. If you're not any good at designing, you want to keep your font types not too many in there, and you want to keep these consistent sizes. The sizes could change depending on a heading or a subheading, but that's enough for us to kind of work with this. So that's great. So let's start designing. We can do all these bits as we go. Right, so we can start designing this now. So we're going to start with the very top. So we've got this lovely big image here. So we're going to put this in. I want it to go full width, and I'm not going to do it as a background image. You're going to see why in a second. So what I want to do is I want to actually take this and I want to duplicate this block. I'm going to need two blocks for this. So I've got a block there and a block there. And with this block, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to drag this up so it's literally gone. So I've got nothing in that block. This is where the hero image is going to go into. I'm going to click inside here and I'm going to make this full width. So it'll go full width, and I'm going to add a row. And inside that row, I'm going to do a one row, one column. And then I'm going to click add element, and I'm going to go in and grab that hero image. So grabbing that, I'm going to upload a hero image. So let's go into here. Upload without crop, and there we go. We got the first part done. So that's the first part done, and we're going to be just polishing this now. You're going to notice if we preview it at this stage, it's going to, let's just save and preview this. It's not going to go right to the edge. Do you see that? So we're going to make it go right to the edge by putting some negative values into this. So I'm going to click on the gear icon on the inside row, and for this I'm also going to take the spacing away from the top and the bottom, and I'm actually going to go negative, which is going to push this up. Let's go negative 10 for now, and then right I'm going to go negative 15. I might need to go a bit more than this. Negative 15 that side. Let's click save. It's going to take me now a lot closer to this edge. See? So I can just now, I'm going to take this one now. So instead of using this row that we used last time, I'm now going to use this, and I'm going to also add a negative. So I'm going to go negative 10, and I'm going to do negative 10 left and negative 10 right. So you can put negative values on not just the images but also the rows. Let's click save to that, and let's just check that. I think that'll do for now. Okay, so much better right near the edge. Good. Okay, and you can obviously do it a little bit more if you wanted to. Let's go to 20. And 20 there. Okay, save that. Right, good. Okay, so let's now jump into the main text. So we have this text running. As you notice, we did this full width. I want to set this area full width, although we're not using full width, and I'm going to use a row to push it in. So I'm going to go down to the next block here. We're going to click the settings. We're going to go full width, bang. And we're going to put a row in, and our row is going to be one row, one column, second column, third column. So I need 3. So let's go in here, grab a 3 column, 1 row. Well, there we go. And the great thing about this is now I get this way of adjusting exactly how far out it goes. So I can put this in here and I can adjust it exactly how I want it to go. So perfect. So the first thing I need to do is put this text in. So as seen. So we're going to drop in some text here. I'm going to use, it's about the same size as that. Yeah, I'm going to use H2. And we'll change the font. Now, guys, if you're setting up your site, remember that, and you know what fonts you're using, like Baskerville for the heading and body crimson, then you would make sure that you set those, if they're available, inside of your branding. So you would go to branding, and then you would go down here, and you would select the heading font as Baskerville, and this one as Crimson, but you can choose the font style. And you can also go around down here and you could change these colors as well if you wanted to. So inside the body, so you've got these colors that you could add. I'm not going to change them because this is on a live site. So let's go in here and let's just set this now. So I don't know, I don't think Baskerville's available in here. It might be. We've got Libra Baskerville, which is pretty similar. Okay, going to use that. And I'm going to use that color now. So I've got a size for this, 29. So I'm going to put 29 into here. It's not far off 29 anyway. And I'm going to choose that color. Remember that color we picked from the page? I'm going to copy that. And we're going to put that in here. So I'm going to select inside here, put that in there. Oops, that's not the right color. Oh, it's jumping around. Okay guys, let's just choose one. Pretty good. This is where you can get really fiddly with this stuff. Yeah, I like that. Once you've set it in here, just make sure that you update that in the document. Okay, so that'll be a new color. All right. Good. All right, so that one's done. So now what we need to do is we need to add in this logos down here. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to give myself a bit of control here. So I'm going to add a new element, and I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to put a row in a row. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to put 3 in here. So let's go in here. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. So let's go right to the end with this. Let's add an element. So this is a row inside a row. And we're going to go and grab that image, and we're going to go and grab that logo there. Okay, upload without crop. There it is. Just going to click save to this and preview what we've got so far. And there we go, we're starting to form it. So next one here. Now we have 2 columns here because we've got this placeholder. So I'm going to be setting up 2 columns. So you can basically, as you're working with these things, you can build them, you know, you can build it out. So I'm going to click this in a row, and I'm going to add a new row, and this row is going to be 2 columns, probably going to be that one. And we're going to put that placeholder for this in here. So let's go and grab that. Let's go add element. No, you would be putting your video in here, Mimi. So you would go to video. Then you would either upload your video or you'd use embed code if it was on YouTube or something. But I'm going to be using a placeholder, so I'm going to be using images here. So that's the reason I've used images. So I've got that placeholder. I'm going to click open. We're not going to crop it because we've taken it from the website. Everything's the right size. And bang, that's in there. It's a bit small, a bit bigger on the site. Not bad. Okay, and I'm going to add text element now because we're starting to break into the page. So we've got this heading bit here, which I'm going to use, copy. Let's go in here, grab an H1 again, or H2, sorry. We're going to change that to that Baskerville. And it's on that side. So I'm going to go over to here. It will save that last color you picked as well, which saves you a lot of hassle. Open this up, type in here Basky. So I'm going to go for this Libra Basky, and I also want to align it left because that's what you've done. And of course it is 29. So let's have a look at yours. So yep, second line down, it's all good. Okay, so next bit to grab is going to be this text. So I might have to break this text onto 2 lines. I'll take the whole text to start with. Copy this. Okay, and we're going to add a text element now. So let's go to text. So it's just a case of just building it all up. If you guys saw any of the other live builds that I've done, you'll know this. And if you watched Aaron on A Day with Zenler, then he works in a similar way. He plans it out on a piece of paper, but that's because he's doing brand new site builds and not copying someone else's site. So I'm going to now put that text into here. I've got to do some line breaks. So I've got right place. And this font is crimson. And you're going to see in a minute, I'm going to start to duplicate the blocks out, so it saves me doing it again. I'm not sure if crimson is available in here. Oh, there we go, crimson text, perfect. And this is 17 points, so she's put it in 17. Remember, when I'm not making these numbers up, I grabbed them from the site earlier. And it is in black, so I don't need to touch that. You're going to notice that this runs on a little bit lower than this. So I'm going to take this. In fact, what I'll do, just to make it better, is I'm going to take all of that. I'm going to duplicate this out and delete out this whole piece here. And I'm going to come down to the bottom row here. I'm going to create a new row. This is going to be 1 row. I'm going to take this now and drag this down. This is a great thing about Zenler. You can just move and drag things around to get placement a little bit better. So let's go up. Okay, that looks good. And the other thing I'd like to do is I make sure that this image aligns with the top of this. So if I grab this inner row and I go to the settings, I can vertically align it to top. So you see this vertical alignment? If I click top, it's all going to jump to the top like that, which looks a lot better. So that's now looking quite nice in there. I'm going to save that. This is a little bit low inside here, but I'm going to knock it up in a minute. Let me just go to this row. Bring this up a bit. Okay, and I could even enter a negative value to push it even closer. So I think it's really good you've got the ability to hit negative values in there. So that's how it looks. That's not bad. Let's just have a look at it now. And there we go, we're starting to build. So back into here, and we got a smaller text in this. I'm going to add this to that block. So let's go and take this. Put that in there. Right hand click. Sometimes you have to do this right hand click to inspect, and you're just inspecting this. So this is still the crimson text, but it's 20. So I'm selecting it, going to pick that same color. Remember, and this is where this document really comes in handy. So I can put that in there, click OK, and that should have changed the color. Yes. Going here, now I'm going to go to the font size here, and we're going to select 20. Rakesh, if you're watching this is a little bit of a bug here where it's pushing off the screen with the lowest block. So I've put that into 20 there, you can see. So, which is exactly the same size as that. So the next bit we have, this is where things move a little bit quicker because I've got all my blocks, so I can just simply grab stuff. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to duplicate it. And we're going to start to move with this stuff. So let's grab this little move. Drop that down there. Replace it with that text. It's on one line there, which is not on one line here. So I might have to make, I want it on one line. So sometimes it's obviously the spacing isn't exactly right both sides. So I can just do that and get it right. If I go 27 or 28, it's going to be there. So it's that's better. So it should be 28. So I'm going to make sure that all my blocks are 28 now, and then I'm going to update that master sheet. So this is where we're tweaking it just to make it work with Zenler and with the blocks that we set up. So in there for the heading, I'm going to make sure that I change that to 28. Okay, and this is how you do it. You just build it up as you're going through. So I've got a little bit of information here. Let's go and grab this one and duplicate it, and we're going to throw this down the bottom. Drop. Grab this text, copy. Right. And we've got prosperous mindset now. And we just build it out. Okay, good. Got a duplicate of this block. Oops. Oh, I've already put it in there. What am I going crazy? Right. Okay. So align your subconscious mindset. I've got this. Good. Back to here, money. There we go. And we've got some bold text in here as well. Dissolve hidden subconscious beliefs. Okay, so I'm selecting that text. A little box will come up. I can click that, make it bold. Okay, so now we've got business relationships. So I'm going to duplicate these out a few times. So when we do a live build, guys, we just work on the home page. The home page is usually the most complex page. So I don't generally work through the whole site. I use these same methods to work through the same site, but for the live builds that I do for you guys, I don't show you all the pages and linking it up, because it would kind of be a moot point, because they would all follow the same kind of styling as the home page. So there's actually no point in doing that. It would really just be a waste of time. I'm sure you guys would love it because someone will be building your site from scratch, but we don't do that at Zenler. So just so you know, if you do get asked to come on to live builds, just realize that's kind of how we work. You can choose a page yourself if you've got a complex page, maybe on a WordPress site, and you want to convert that across and you want to know how to do it. Then of course, you know, we can do it per page. It doesn't have to necessarily be the home page. Or you might, like we've done live builds where we've actually done technical issues that are actually wrong with the site, and we've shown how to fix those. Last week we did 2 weeks ago, I think we did one for a competition winner, and that was showing how to set up a kind of form to capture leads. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on a complete site bit thing, you know. So I'm going to grab this one next. There's a lot of text in here, but I'm getting to the end of it. But this doesn't take too long, you know. You can just leisurely work your way through it as long as you save it out. Do remember to save it out as well, guys. I've done this before where I've worked for a whole site, not saved it out, and then my internet's gone or something's crashed and I've lost all that work. So it's a really good idea that you actually save as you're working through things. When you think, oh god, that was a tricky area to do, then just save it because it does happen. You know, it happens with any site, WordPress or any site that you're on. So we got this one here, and oops, done that twice. You can kind of lose yourself when you're working on these things. Okay. Oh, that's that block. Okay. Right. Just want to get rid of this block because it's a duplicate. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I could just drag that down and use it later, but I tend to try and work very linear when I'm working, like one bit at a time. That way it just stops mistakes happening. If I started duplicating all these and dropping them all in, you can sometimes get lost. If it's your site, you don't tend to get lost with it, but if you're working as a website designer on someone's site, it doesn't really mean anything to you. I'm not reading all this wording, I'm just going through the motions of putting stuff in. So you can easily just sort of lose it and just have text in there that you haven't deleted out, that doesn't refer to it, because you're just basically going through the motions of doing this stuff. So that's why I kind of work in this very linear way from top to bottom. Just means you will make less mistakes. So you know, I haven't checked the chat yet, but I'm going to just finish this bit and then I'll have a quick check of the chat. Hopefully you're picking up some tips here. You know, especially important to have a look, get all the images together, make sure you've got a little document with your sizes like we have, and that's going to help you as well. So these are key things, and it doesn't matter what you do, whether you know you're building this from a Squarespace site, a Wix site, whatever. The same principle can apply. You know, you look at the site, break the site down into blocks, think about the rows inside that and how that's going to, you know, how that will convert into a Zenler site, and then you will be set. It's really that easy. I'm not having to do anything complicated here. Sometimes it's actually quite nice to just take someone's WordPress site and convert it into another site. Like I've done conversions from WordPress to Squarespace, Wix to Squarespace, Wix to WordPress, you know, WordPress to Zenler, Wix to Zenler. It's all the same method. You just go through it block by block and you do what the system allows you to do. So I'm just repeating the same thing here, guys, but I'm going to do it because it is a full build on this page. So I'm sorry if it's boring, because I know it is at the moment, because I'm just repeating. So if you want to get a coffee or something, come back. I should be finished in 10 minutes or so. So this is the health section. So I'm going to grab the text from that. And to save myself a bit of time, I'll just duplicate that block. For some reason my machine is screaming at me. You can hear the fan going, doesn't normally happen. Alright, getting down the bottom now, so this is a bit in here. So I'm going to paste that in there, jump back to here, grab this, copy, back into here, and here we go. So we got this last bit here, and I think I can use that block. It's the same type. That's good. Right, this is 20. It's the same size as I had before, so I can take the font size here. Change the color. Alright, let's save that out. Let's just do a quick refresh. So that all looks nice. So if we're comparing it at this stage, at the top down to the bottom, and you're going through it, and you compared it to this, you wouldn't really see, unless you're trained eye, you wouldn't really see that there's a difference in the site. And that's how you can do it, really easy. So next thing we need to do is put in this kind of button. So I need to right hand click and find this button color out. So I'm going to use that inspector again. Remember guys, I'm using Chrome. Right hand click, go down to inspect. It's going to bring this box up. You'll probably have it docked in a corner. I have mine separated out. Click this little icon here, go over this, and we should be able to find out the color of this. There it is there. I can see that color. I'm going to copy that color. I'm going to put that in here. So I'm now going to put button and in here, and you can put that in your branding settings as well. So I think we have a Cinzel. The font's type for this is Cinzel, and it's 14 point. So I'm going to grab all that, copy it, paste it into the button here. That's actually the code for it. So that's going to save me a lot of trouble. Alright, let's go. Oops. So work with me quick in the new group. Right, let's put a button in here. All right. New element, button. How big's her button there? It's quite big. Okay, so I want to choose that background color for this. That's the color that I took just now when I used the inspector. So I'm going to be taking that color. I don't want it to have a border. So I've got border turned, border thickness, let's put that 0. Let's put this background color into this new color that I've got, which we just grabbed. There we go. That's nice. I want to use that font, which was Zenler. I'm not sure if we've got it in here. Oh, there it is. So that's nice. Got Zenler. The weight of that was 14 pixels. Remember, we grabbed that using the inspector just now. That's nice. And I don't want it to have it full width. Okay, and now I want to put what it says. So I'm going to go up to the top of that button. This would link through, I'm guessing, to that form page that you just saw. So under the settings here, I want to put in what she's written. So work with Mimi quick in the new group. Program ask for more info here. And there we go. So I just want to have a look. It all looks good. Okay, those borders, those little radius are less than mine. Mine are a bit more, so I'm going to go in here and just take that border radius down very slightly. So I've got a border corner radius here of 4, but I think it should be like 3. And of course, you remember, guys, you have this ability in here to reduce this down as well. You've got padding around this stuff. So I always like to put about 10 in here, 10 or 8, and that to me looks better. Mind you, Mimi's got more, so let's put it back to 15. Okay, click save. So this would link through to another page. So you know, guys, with buttons, you go in here, click the little gear icon, go to settings, and you can choose an action, so where that goes to. You could have it open a pop-up form, go to a link where you normally have a form or something like that. So that's done. So I'm going to click that, and we're going to check that out in the preview. And there we go, looking nice. I'm going to jump into the chat and see what's going on. Right, so we've got LY, we've got Sandy, got Kathy in here. Fantastic. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you're loving it. So David, we'll be able to see the recording. Yes, you will. It's here. I also download it and put it on the YouTube channel as well. So it goes on the live builds, so it'll be in there. So I didn't know about negative values. Yeah, negative values is really powerful for pushing stuff right to the edge. So you can have this real control over it. If you're using negative values, one little pointer, check the site works in a mobile, all right, which we're going to look at in a second. So let's have a look at this in mobile. Just while I said that, I'll just have a look at it in the mobile view. So up here you can go and you can check it in a tablet or a mobile. So we're looking at how it looks in a mobile. So you can see that doesn't look as good, but we could replace that, and that's probably a little bit too much, so I'll bring that up there. It doesn't give you a true preview like this because you see these rows, they don't actually appear, but it's looking nice. You know, that's centered nicely and all that stuff. So in a tablet it looks slightly better. Still that side, that looks good. And then we've got desktop there. So you have that ability in there to change that. I'd probably maybe make this a bit wider. Maybe. It's probably going to give me a bit too much space there. So I'd probably grab this. So this is where you can change things a bit to make it suit what you want it to. So if I take this, I can drag this under here. Oops. And I could come in here and just bring this up a bit. That to me looks better, you know. So you can change things around as you're working with it. This is too big now in here, but of course we have this ability to go in here and change this in. Also, just as a tip, if you click the image, you can actually drag the image in as well. So you've got that ability to drag that image in, and you've also, if it's a bit too close to this area, which in this case it is, I could click on the row and then I could set a little bit of bottom space on this to push it down. So you see you got that infinite control over things. I'll probably bring this up a bit so it's closer to there, and I'd probably bring this up a little bit as well here, and then click save. But you can see how you can alter it really quickly and it's looking nice. Let's have a look at it now with that new margin set in there. So yeah, there's a lot of text on this page, but this is a text heavy site. So let's move on now to this. So we've got align these. So I've got a different font happening here. I don't tend to like mixing too many fonts around, but this font does go, I think, with this font. Don't know if it does, but let's see. So I'm going to take this and we're going to drop this in. So now we have this section here, which has got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So I'm going to be putting one block in underneath, and then I'm going to do a block of 4. So you can see that happening now. So inside this block, I'm going to add in a new thing. In fact, you know what? Let's just make life easy. Let's just take this and just drop this in. I don't know, you're seeing me working on this. I don't know if a lot of you are actually using a duplicate block, but you're actually going in and making all your blocks up yourself. So you can see, look, but just by duplicating some of the blocks, you can really speed your workflow up. These are just pro tips that I do automatically when I'm doing things. So really pay attention to those kind of real time saving tips that can just make it so much easier for you. So down the alignment here, this is centered, so I'm going to center this. It is also in that color, so I'm going to put it into that color. And Mimi's picked for this, actually it's in black. All right, so I'm going to inspect this and I'll put it into black. So she's picked open sans for this. So this is an open sans. It's 1A, 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 but I'm going to leave it black. So let's go and choose open sans. That's our third font choice for this site. So we've got open sans, we can type that in there. And I think it's a bold, and I'm going to pick this black here. And I think it's more boldy. Let's go and choose semi-bold. Okay, something like that. Okay, now the good bit. We're going to get on to doing the buttons now that Mimi's got here. So this is good. This is a nice, easy one for us to do. We're going to go in now, and we're going to create a new row under this row, and click in here, and I'm going to go for 4. There we go. And inside each of these, I'm going to stick the button. So we're going to click in here. I'm going to do one button, and we can just use the same button. We can just duplicate it and send it out. Again, this really saves time. So we're going to go in there. We're going to click the little gear icon. We're going to go across to design variations, and notice we have all these different design types that you can have. So I'm going to go outline box, because that's what we've got, and I'm going to start to fill out what it says. So it says business in there, and then we've got that same goldy copper color. So let's go into here, go into settings. I'm going to put business, and we're going to choose that color that we have. Border color, might make that border thickness 2. That's quite good. I'm going to use Open Sans. I'm not sure what you've used for that. It looks like Open Sans. I'm going to use Open Sans. So let's go in here. It's a bit thinner. That's not too bad. And now we're going to turn it into a kind of a square. So I have it full width in there, and I'm going to put it to normal, and I'm going to go into here now, and we're going to just add some padding. Whoa, not that much. And make it more square. That's better. So if I put 80 in there, I think that'll be good. What does that look like? Font's a bit bigger. Looks like it's a bit of a lighter colour as well. So I might choose a lighter colour. And I think I'm going to change this to like 32. Yeah. And I'm going to choose a slightly lighter colour. And I'm going to look at this. Yeah, it's darker in there. I think I like it dark around the outside. I know Mimi chose the same colour, but you know, we want to make it slightly different. And we got that colour there, so that's that new brighter colour. Okay, so that's a button that we could add an action to. So I'm going to duplicate that button out, and we're going to take that and we're going to put it into this block here. So bang, it goes into here. And another one, let's take that, put it into there. Money coaching spiritual. Okay, one last thing, I'm going to put this back to full width. Reason this is being a different length inside here, so if I make it full width, it's going to go straight to the size of that column block. So let's go width, full width, and let's make sure we do it with all of them. It's easy to miss this when you're looking at it and you go, oh, well, that looks right now, and then you don't bother doing it to the others, and then you look at it on a mobile and it's all different sizes. So you need to check things are consistent when you're working them. So I've done these buttons quite a bit wider in height than Mimi's site, and I quite like it to stand out. But of course, you know, you can change that padding and reduce that padding down if you want to. It's up to you. Remember, this is our Zenler version of a WordPress site. So we're going to have a look at this now. Just make sure you keep saving, and we've got this. So these are buttons that you could tie to, and this is Mimi's here, slightly smaller. Now we've got this block, so this block's going to be nice and easy to do. You bright guys could probably already work out what we're doing. So if you want to put in the chat what we're going to do, how many columns we're going to use for this, how many rows, 2 columns, 1 row. So that's how we're going to do it for this, and then we're just going to break it away like we did the last bit. So, you know, not brain surgery, it's pretty easy stuff. We're going to go into rows now, and we're going to go in and grab that row. So I've got a 3366 there, and I'm going to grab that lovely image that we've got. So I'm going to go add element, go into images, and upload me there. And remember, you know, I know like what it's taken us about an hour so far to put this together, but guys, remember, like if you've got the home page set, you can duplicate this out, or you can save blocks off. You know, you could save this whole block and use it in another page, then alter the way it looks, and you'll be a lot quicker with it. And so it's, you know, it's not too bad once you get into it. So let me now duplicate this. I'm going to drag this into this block. So I'm going to grab this here. This is what I love, to grab these blocks. Oh, a little tip for you here as well. If you can't see the block to drag it into, what you can do is press Control on the keyboard, hold the Control, click minus. It will make this reduce down, which means that you're going to see this. Now it might go a bit weird, but it just means that you can see this little grab block. So then you can grab it down here and let go of it. And to reset the page to back to what it was before, press the Control key, hold the Control key, and hit 0 on the keyboard. And that's a little shortcut for being able to grab these blocks. So one thing I can see is I need it all top aligned. So I'm going to click in the row that we created here, and we're going to just click this little gear icon. Is Mimi here? I don't think she is. She'll be surprised, won't she? Right, so that's that bit there. So we've got a different size going on here for this, and she's put this at 20, so that's all right. This is italicized, so I'm going to grab some of this text, just flick out that. I'm actually going to use this. I know this is the right size. Right, I'm going to show you another little tip as well. I'm going to show you another little tip. Hold on, let me just... hold on for this, you're going to like this one. This little tip I'm going to show you is, you might have had this happen and gone, why does it do that? And I'm going to show you something that will really help you. So if I put this down here, if we go and drop text in, so if I copy this text, you can see that this text here, I want to copy this, and I know that it's in this size and this color. What a lot of people do is they select all the text and then they paste it where they want it to go, and it doesn't take on the properties of this size or this color. So my little tip to you, and this is a great one, is select the text right up to the last F, but not all of it. So not that last bit. Now paste it in and it won't work. That was my tip. I love it when it's live. Normally it will take on the attribute of that, and if you don't delete it all out, but it didn't work. So scrap that tip. Maybe I can show it to you later when we're working with something else. Right, okay. I love it when we're live. Right. So I'm going to grab that color again, and I'm going to have to set it to 20. All right, let's go and grab this. So I'm going to grab this bit. We've got little bits going in, so there's paragraph breaks going in here. and it's italicized as well. Okay, because we made it wider, I think I can fit this paragraph in. Okay, let's just italicize this. So I'm going to select it, go to italic. There we go. So I'm just checking how it looks, just if I want to make a change. That looks good. Okay. Right. So when you're doing your WordPress conversions as well, just think, you know, can I make it better? Because you're working through your site and you have all this control, probably in some cases more control than you've got in your WordPress site. So it means you can really change things minutely, like the images and the rows and the columns, that you find it much harder to do inside of things like WordPress. So it's definitely worth, when you do your site, to just try and make it that little bit better than you had before. I think it's at that point where you can do that, so why not? So let's put that into there. Oops. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to do something different with this bullet points that we've got coming up, because I think we can make it look better than that. Let's select all this text, which is all in italic. and that looks good. Okay, so we got bullets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm just seeing if I could align it better. Right, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to put 2 rows. So I'm going a little bit different to the site now, just because I think it's going to look better this way. And it probably won't, but let's see. And inside here I'm going to add a list element. Right, do you notice how you can change the icon as well? You can go in there and change that icon over, and I can change that colour of that icon in there as well. I'm not quite sure how I copy. If I create another list there, there we go. Not used the list icon before inside here, so always good to do it live, isn't it? Right. Let's use that crimson text. Maybe I'll change it. There we go. And I'll duplicate it. And I think this will look better. Although these bullet points are quite big. I like to preview, just check it. I saw this alignment was slightly out, so I'm just trying to make it a little bit bigger inside there, so it doesn't look too bad. This is where, you know, you have to make a decision whether you want to. So I'm going to take that block there where it ends on that sentence, and I'll add it in there. Better. Yep. So don't be afraid to play around with it just to get everything sort of perfect. That's what you should be doing. Right, so we got that. So we've now got this bit here. So we're going to put another row in, just one more row in here, I think, at the end. So I'm going to go down to there. Let's choose this. That's better. Okay, want to grab that button. So we've got a duplicate button. This is sometimes a pain because you've got to grab this and sort of move it down. So I just sort of grab it in little chunks and move it down. Down like, oop, let's grab this, move it down here. There we go. Join the Facebook group. And then we have this bit here, nice and easy. So I'm going to make this, I'm not going to make it italic, I'm just going to put it in like this, and I'm going to change a few of these little bits in here. Just going to make this bold, just so it pops a little bit more. I'd probably make more of a feature of this, because there's quite a lot of call to actions in here. I would probably, I'm going to do something here just different to what Mimi's got, so I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to align it left. And for this particular one, I think I'm going to change it a little bit. This is where I'm going off of what the WordPress site's got, but I just think it will look better. Probably make that much bigger, but I'm going to leave it as it is. So next we're going to have that, and we're just going to put that into an italic in there. But you can see that I think that looks better. It's more of a call to action than that little click through. So let's have a look at that. Just have a look, see. Yeah, it looks better. So a lot better than just having it in there. I'm sure you'd agree, you know. So now we've got two links here, two images here. So with images, you need to make sure that your sizes are okay. I'm going to use what she's got, but for these two images that we have, they are different sizes. So this size is different to this size. So when you're doing these images and they're going in a page and they're side by side, specifically when they're side by side, you want to make sure that same height. So you've used some sort of software to resize the images, making sure they are the same size. Now we can change it a little bit inside the platform, but generally it's best if you actually do it manually yourself before you bring it in. So I need two blocks. I need one row, two columns. So I'm going to put that in there now. So it's really easy. I'm going to come into this block here, set a new row for that up, and I'm just going to have two. Now I'm going to have it as 4 columns because I don't want it to take up the whole room of there. So if I put 4 in there, I can just put the image in the middle part. So let's go in and grab the first image, which I think is that one there. Okay, and we're going to grab the next one now. So I've got this one here, so I'm going to go to the image, and once again we're going to upload that, and that's that one there. This is a bit bigger, but it should be alright because we're contained within that block. So you can see it's a little bit different size. So I'm going to get this and I'm just going to bring this down. Pretty good. Right, let's add a new element. I'm going to add some text. You can see this text. Oh, I can duplicate this. Let's take that text and duplicate it. Again, I probably use a little image, a little button in here just underneath if you want people to click on it, and that's going to be good. Now these are different heights at the moment, so to make them all level we're just going to go into our settings, go down to vertical alignment, click top, and bang, that's correct. So let's click save to that, and then we've got that kind of thing happening. And then the last bit is we got down here, and that will bring us to the end of this. So let's take this, let's make a new, one final row. Oops. Oh, by the way, if you do accidentally create a double column, you can right hand click, go over the row, right hand click and go delete column. And let's go delete. And there you go. It clears it out. So a little trick. So duplicate that. Finally put this in here. Change the text. Make it regular. Save it out, and job done. Okay, so there we go. So she's got a lot of space in here, but remember, you could put space in here. You could set some more spacing. Oops. Sorry, you could click the handle and grab it across. Like that. And then you could say spacing left like that if you wanted to. I quite like it with that. That's going to be a better size, I think. So I think if I bring this image down here, just got to get what feels right, really. I'd probably put this into this row, just so it's under both, and then I center it, because I'm sure that both the images you can click through to. So with it in this site, it's just under this image, but it would be under both of them. So I would write a line like that. And like I said to you, you didn't even need to put that in there. If you just got one of these and duplicated it out, this is where you can make things better than you've got. So if I then put that under there, I've then got a nice click through. Of course, I can center that and go into the center settings for this and center it, you know, and then duplicate it and then link it up under there as well. And then I haven't got to click on image. It would be a call to action there, which would make people more likely to make people to click on it than just the text alone. So if we look at this now, we've got this, which is much nicer because you click under it. So that is how we can do all that main content for the page. Yeah, obviously, like I was saying, big things to take away from this. This image here should be a nice big high resolution image. It's really blurry and the site itself looks really good and clean, but this really spoils it for me. You need to get a better, it's a good image, it just needs to be much higher quality image if you're going to use it for full width. So it's really important for you guys to sort of take away from this, that sort of thing. So you can set up the menu. You just have to use the standard Zenler. You can then just use text in there, or you can take a screen grab of that image and you can upload it as your image in the site. But that's how you can do Mimi's site.